Okay, so this section then is going to focus on some warm-up prep stretches, which you should move on to once you've done your cardio-based pulse raiser in your warm-up. So the aim with these stretches is to hold each one for approximately 6 to 10 seconds, whereby we should activate and stimulate the muscle just enough to increase its length and flexibility slightly, but also improve that mind-muscle connection between the brain and the intended area of work. Now, by doing these, what it may do is help to reduce the risk of injury with your clients, but also improve their level of performance, meaning that they get a better, more overall session. Okay, so the first group of stretches that we're going to look at includes initially a stretch for the calf muscle, so the gastrocnemius. So what we do is stand upright, ankle, knee, hip in a line, and take a natural stride forward. From here, we need to make sure that on both legs, both the toes, knees and hips are pointing in a straight direction. The front leg should be bent slightly with the back leg straight. Now, keeping that back leg straight and your back heel onto the ground, we are then going to just push forward so that as we look down, our knee just starts to pass over our toes. Keep our shoulders back and chest proud, and then at this point we should be able to feel a slight stretch in our back leg gastrocnemius muscle. If we can't feel that, don't worry, just open your stride just a little bit further. For 6 to 10 seconds, push back off that front leg, and then change legs. Okay, so the next stretch then works the second muscle within the calf, which is called the soleus muscle. So what we now need to do is take a smaller step in front of our body and a smaller step behind the body as well. Now what we're now going to do is, again keeping both sets of knees, toes and hips in a straight line, is bend both knees and imagine that we are sitting down onto an imaginary stool behind us. We should then feel our body weight go into the heel of our back leg, so much so that we should then feel a stretch in and around this muscle here. The chest and hips will be slightly more forward, approximately about 15-20 degrees. Again, 6 to 10 seconds, stand and change leg. And the third stretch in this group is a stretch for the thigh muscle or the quadriceps. So what we may need is some sort of secure object, such as a wall, to stand up against. Place one hand on it for support, stand upright. We're then going to raise the heel of one leg behind us. If need be, reach round with the hand for the laces. Get our knees together, push our hips forward, and then point the knee of that bent leg downwards. Pull the heel higher, if need be. And rest. Okay, so the next three stretches that we're going to look at are ones for other muscles in the leg, but this time the hamstring muscles, the adductors, and then the hip flexors. So for the hamstring stretch, what we do is stand upright, ankle, knee, hip in a line, before placing one foot in front of the body and the other foot behind. We first of all need to make sure that our toes, knees and hips are in a straight direction before keeping the front leg straight, but now bending the back one, sinking backwards so our body weight transfers onto the heels of both legs. Hips should be bent at approximately 45 degrees, and we should feel the stretch just inside the hamstring there. If we can't feel that, open our stance up just a little bit before sinking deep again. Okay, the next stretch is for the adductors or the groins. What we do for this one is stand upright again, before this time pushing out to one side, making sure that the leg we have stepped towards is bent with the opposite leg straight. Knees and toes on this bent leg may naturally push out slightly, but the main emphasis comes from stepping across, stretching this area in here. And the third stretch in this section is for the hip flexor muscles, which run down into here. So what we need to do for this one is take a big stride forward onto the floor with the front toe, knee and hip pushed forward and the back knee behind the hip. We need to really emphasise this push forward so that we can then feel the stretch down into this muscle here. Keep the shoulders back, chest proud, eyes in front, before pushing back and then changing legs. Okay, what we're now going to do is move on to the upper body warm-up prep stretches. Starting with, first of all, a stretch for the oblique muscles which attach down the side of the body here. So, what we do first of all is stand nice and upright, ankle, knee, hip in a line, before placing the hands on the side of our body. What we're then going to do is put one hand onto the hip, and then allow the other hand to move gently down the side of the body. What's really important is that we try to keep the hips as still as we can, and we don't allow them to pop out to the side. Okay? So slowly down, so we really feel a stretch in here. Stand upright and change sides. Okay, the next stretch is for the latissimus dorsi muscle, which is a very, very long muscle that originates in here, around the body, and then moves down around the back, all the way down to the bottom of the rib cage. To stretch that muscle, what we do is place both hands overhead, making sure that we push one set of fingers into the other. What we don't want to do is to lock the fingers, we just need to push them against each other. Push directly above the head, then push the head through the gap that the arms create, trying to stretch and reach as high as we can. Final stretch is for the trapezius muscle, which is the muscle that attaches at the base of the neck but actually moves down into the base of the spine. So from there, what we do is again place the hands together with one hand pushing into the other one, and this time stretch out in front of the body. And then in this stretch, and only this stretch, tilt the head forward. So again, we push it through that gap. Push the head down. Extend the hands outwards before lifting the head up, relaxing the hands. Okay, and then in this final stretching segment, we're now going to look at some warm-up prep stretches for the last few of body muscles, which are the chest, pectorals, the shoulders or deltoids, and the triceps. So, for the pectorals, first of all, what we do is get the hands and place them into the small of our back before standing upright and pushing our chest forward and really trying to get our shoulders behind us and together as much as we can. Try to keep the eyes and chin up before releasing. The shoulders or deltoid stretch requires you to stand upright before placing one arm across the body with the other arm resting underneath. What we can then do is, keeping the long stretched arm in line with the shoulder, is pull and squeeze it into and across our body so we feel a stretch around about here. Stand tall, keep the shoulders back, and again, eyes in front, keeping the chin off the chest. And then the final stretch for the triceps, the muscle at the back of the arm, what we do is raise the elbow up so that the fingers rest gently on the back of our shoulder, with the other hand coming underneath the face but across the body to lift it and hold it into place. We can then use that supporting hand, push the elbow further higher and back.